You don't lack confidence, you lack command. Right now, your mind is acting like a public courtroom. Every glance from a stranger feels like a verdict. Every delay feels like rejection. Every small mistake becomes evidence that you are not enough. And the more you try to look confident, the more fragile you feel inside. Stoicism calls this the trap of borrowed identity. When your self-worth depends on outcomes, opinions and applause, your confidence will always be rented. And rented confidence is always one bad day away from collapse. But there is one Stoic habit that ends this at the root. Not a quote, not a mood, not a fake it till you make it mask. It is the habit of daily voluntary discomfort. Small, chosen discomfort that trains your nervous system to stop begging life to be easy. Chosen discomfort that teaches your mind, I can handle pressure. Chosen discomfort that proves, with evidence, that you are not breakable. Because confidence is not a feeling, it is a reputation you build with yourself. If you always avoid what's hard, your mind quietly decides you're weak. If you repeatedly do what's hard on purpose, your mind has no choice but to accept the truth. You are dangerous in the best way. Calm, unshakable, unbothered by noise. So in this video, I'm going to show you how one Stoic habit can rebuild your confidence from the inside out until you become unrecognizable, not to impress people, but to obey your inner inner authority. And as you listen, drop a comment with the words, I choose discomfort, not for me, for you, a public vow that your old version is done. Like this video. If you're ready to become solid, not flashy, subscribe if you want more Stoic power you can actually live. Habit 1. Voluntary discomfort. Daily. Confidence is not built by thinking, it is built by proof. And proof only comes from action that costs you something. Most people are trying to feel confident before they move. That is exactly why they stay stuck. They wait for fear to disappear. They wait for motivation. They wait for a perfect mood. Stoicism calls that slavery to the passions, because when your actions depend on comfort, you become a servant of comfort. And comfort is a weak master. It demands more and more while giving you less and less. Voluntary discomfort flips the hierarchy. You stop obeying comfort. You start commanding yourself. This is the habit. Every single day, choose one controlled discomfort on purpose and do it without negotiation, not as punishment, as training, as a ritual that reminds your mind who is in charge. It can be simple. Take the cold shower for the final 30 to 60 seconds. Walk when you could drive. Do the hardest set first. Eat the plain meal instead of chasing dopamine. Wake up when the bed tries to keep you hostage. Speak the truth you've been rehearsing in silence. Finish the task you've been delaying. Go into the discomfort you normally avoid. The point is not the specific method. The point is the message you deliver to your nervous system. I do not need things to be easy to be powerful. Here is what happens psychologically, and this is the part most people miss. Your brain is constantly collecting evidence about who you are. When you avoid hard things, you teach it, quietly, that you are fragile. Not in words, but in behavior. Your mind watches you flinch, and it records a conclusion. We can't handle pressure. Then confidence becomes impossible, because your own inner judge has a stack of evidence against you. But when you choose discomfort every day, you begin stacking evidence in your favor. Your inner judge is forced to adjust the verdict, not because you begged it, but because you proved it. You did the thing even when you didn't want to. You stayed steady under strain. You endured. You completed. And the mind, like a loyal soldier, starts to follow the commander who keeps showing up. This is why this habit makes you unrecognizable. Not because you become loud, because you become solid. You walk differently because your mind knows you're not pretending. You speak differently because you're not pleading for approval. You stop scanning faces for validation because you are busy building internal authority. And there is a Stoic precision to this. You don't aim for suffering, you aim for mastery. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to accept the rough cloth, the simple food, the cold, the inconvenience, not because life is supposed to be miserable, but because life is unpredictable. Voluntary discomfort is rehearsal for real adversity. It is you telling fate, I am not dependent on softness. So let me give you a practical structure you can follow starting today. First, keep it daily, not extreme. 10 minutes done daily is more transformative than one heroic day followed by a week of avoidance. Consistency turns discomfort into identity. Second, keep it chosen, not forced. The power is in the choice. You are proving you can lead yourself. When discomfort is chosen, it becomes a weapon. When it is forced, it becomes trauma. Third, keep it silent. This is crucial. Don't announce it. Don't perform it. Don't seek praise for it. The confidence you're building is internal, not social. The moment you need applause, you return to rented confidence. And finally, after you finish your daily discomfort, pause for 10 seconds and say this in your mind: I did what was hard. I keep my word. That statement is not motivation. It is an identity stamp. Now comment the words, I choose discomfort, not as a trend, as a contract, because confidence is not gifted. It is earned in private. Habit 2. Negative visualization before you need it. Most people lose confidence because they are secretly addicted to certainty. They walk into conversations hoping to be liked. They start projects hoping everything goes smooth. They chase goals hoping the world cooperates. And when life does what life always does, delays, rejection, criticism, loss of control, their confidence collapses, not because they are incapable, but because they were unprepared. Stoicism fixes this with a habit that looks dark to the untrained mind, but is actually one of the cleanest sources of calm power you will ever practice. Negative visualization, not pessimism, not anxiety, not imagining disasters for entertainment. This is discipline. This is rehearsal. The Stoics trained themselves to briefly picture what could go wrong so they would not be shocked when reality tested them, because shock is what breaks people. Shock is what makes you stutter, shrink, over-explain, beg for approval, abandon the mission, and then call it bad luck. But it was not bad luck. It was a mind that never trained for resistance. Here is the core truth. Confidence is your ability to stay steady when the outcome is uncertain. Negative visualization builds that steadiness by removing the fantasy that you are entitled to smoothness. So here is how you practice it in a way that strengthens you instead of scaring you. Every morning, for 2 to 3 minutes, picture one realistic adversity you might face today. Not the end of the world, the actual world, the coworker who challenges you, the client who says no, the plan that changes, the traffic that makes you late, the person who misunderstands you, the message that gets ignored, the presentation that has a glitch, the workout that feels heavy, the family member who triggers you, the temptation that tries to pull you back into your old habits. Then you do the most important part. You decide in advance how you will respond as a Stoic. You see yourself staying calm. You see yourself speaking slowly. You see yourself not defending your ego. You see yourself taking the next correct action. You see yourself accepting what you cannot control and controlling what you can. You see yourself refusing to panic, refusing to collapse into emotional noise. This is not imagination for comfort. This is imagination for command. Because when the moment arrives, your body does not rise to the level of your hopes. It falls to the level of your training. Without this habit, you meet adversity with surprise. With this habit, you meet adversity with recognition, and recognition is power. Now let's talk about why this transforms confidence. When you expect everything to go well, every disruption feels personal. You interpret resistance as a sign you are failing. You interpret silence as rejection. You interpret criticism as humiliation. You interpret obstacles as proof you are not good enough. Negative visualization rewires that interpretation. It teaches you this is part of the path. And the moment adversity becomes normal, it stops being a threat to your identity. You stop needing life to be gentle in order to feel strong. And there is a deeper layer. Negative visualization destroys the fear of loss. A huge portion of low confidence is actually fear of losing something: reputation, comfort, a relationship, an opportunity, control. People become timid because they are guarding fragile things. They become performers because they are trying to protect an image. Stoicism teaches detachment, not as coldness, but as freedom. When you can look at the possibility of loss and still remain whole, you stop negotiating with fear. You stop selling your soul for security. So here is a simple structure you can use daily. First, name the potential disruption. Say it plainly. I might be criticized today. I might not get the result I want. I might feel uncomfortable. Keep it realistic. Second, separate control from outcome. Ask, what is mine to govern? Your effort, your tone, your decision, your discipline. The outcome is never fully yours. Third, pre-choose your response. Decide the exact Stoic behavior you will execute. I will breathe, pause, respond with clarity, and move forward. Fourth, end with gratitude. Yes, gratitude. Because rehearsing loss makes you appreciate what you have without clinging to it. You enjoy it, but you do not depend on it. That is inner authority. And when you live like that, confidence becomes inevitable. Because you are no longer afraid of what if. You already looked at what if, and you decided you can handle it. Habit 3. The inner scorecard, not the outer audience. If you want unbreakable confidence, you must stop letting other people grade your worth. Most confidence problems are not skill problems, they are audience problems. You are performing for a jury that changes every day. One person praises you, and you feel 10 feet tall. Another person ignores you, and you feel invisible. A small criticism lands, and your whole identity starts negotiating with shame. That is not confidence, that is emotional outsourcing. Stoicism calls this a loss of inner authority, and you cannot become unrecognizable while you are still asking strangers to sign off on your value. So, habit 3 is this: build and live by an inner scorecard. An inner scorecard means you measure yourself by what is actually yours to control: your effort, your discipline, your courage, your patience, your honesty, your restraint, your consistency, your character under pressure. You stop measuring life by applause, and you start measuring life by alignment. Because the outer audience is unstable. Today they love you, tomorrow they don't. Today they agree, tomorrow they mock. If your confidence is tied to that, your confidence will always be on a leash. The Stoics were ruthless about this. Epictetus taught that the only thing truly yours is your faculty of choice, your judgments, your decisions, your response. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself like a commander, constantly reminding his mind, do the right thing, let the rest go. This is the backbone of the inner scorecard. Here's how you practice it, in a way that actually changes you. First, choose 3 non-negotiable virtues you will judge yourself by each day. Keep them practical and measurable. For example, discipline, courage, and self-respect. Or patience, clarity, and consistency. Don't pick 10, pick 3. If you pick too many, you will turn it into a fantasy. 3 is enough to create a spine. Second, define what those virtues look like in behavior. Discipline might mean I complete the hardest task before noon. Courage might mean I speak honestly without aggression. Self-respect might mean I do not chase validation, I do not beg, I do not over-explain. Now you have a personal constitution, a code. Third, every time your confidence shakes, you ask one question: am I living my code right now? Not do they like me, not did it go perfectly. Those questions make you a puppet. The inner scorecard question makes you a leader, because even if you lose the outcome, you can win your standards. And when you repeatedly win your standards, your mind starts trusting you. That trust is confidence. Now let's make it sharper. Many people confuse confidence with social smoothness. They want to look fearless. They want to never feel awkward. They want to always say the perfect thing. Stoicism doesn't promise you perfect social moments. Stoicism promises you integrity. It trains you to be steady, even when you feel uncomfortable. So on days when you feel nervous, the inner scorecard says, did you show up anyway? On days when you get criticized, it says, did you stay calm and stay true? On days when you fail, it says, did you learn and return to the path? This is how you become unrecognizable. You become consistent across conditions. And here is the most powerful side effect. When you stop needing approval, you stop acting needy. Needy energy is what kills confidence. It's the hidden begging in your tone, the over-explaining, the people-pleasing, the constant checking if you're okay. That energy disappears when you live by the inner scorecard, because you are no longer trying to be chosen. You are choosing. To make this habit real, do this exercise nightly. At the end of the day, take 2 minutes and grade yourself on your 3 virtues from 1 to 10. Be honest, not dramatic. Then write 1 sentence. Tomorrow, I improve by doing 1 thing. 1 thing only. Not a motivational essay, a correction. This is Stoic accountability. Quiet, precise, relentless. And when your mind sees that you hold yourself to a code, it stops doubting you. Because doubt comes from inconsistency. Doubt comes from broken promises to yourself. Doubt comes from living as a reaction instead of a ruler. So if you want confidence that does not depend on praise, build an inner scorecard and obey it. Let people talk. Let outcomes vary. Let the world be the world. Your job is to be you, at your highest standard, without negotiation. Now comment the words, I live by my code. Make it public, so your future self has witnesses. Habit 4. Strategic silence, not emotional explaining. If you want to become unrecognizable, you must kill one habit that quietly destroys confidence, the urge to explain yourself when you feel judged. Low confidence does not always look like fear. Sometimes it looks like talking too much, over-clarifying, over-apologizing, oversharing, filling every pause with extra words, not because the situation requires it, but because your ego is trying to protect itself from discomfort. Stoicism trains the opposite, strategic silence, not passive silence, not weak silence, commanding silence, because when you cannot tolerate misunderstanding, you become easy to control. People only have to raise an eyebrow, question you, or react coldly, and you start negotiating your worth out loud. That is how confidence leaks out of your body in real time. Strategic silence means you stop giving away your power through unnecessary justification. Here's the rule. If you have done what is right, you do not owe everyone a speech. You can clarify facts when needed. You can communicate professionally, but you do not explain from emotion. You do not overtalk to be liked. You do not try to manage every opinion. You let people hold their assumptions while you hold your posture. This is inner authority in public. Marcus Aurelius lived in a world where people constantly judged him, criticized him, doubted him. His answer was not to win every argument. His answer was to govern himself. The Stoic mind understands something most people never learn. Your reputation is outside your control, but your character is not. So you invest in what you can command, and strategic silence changes everything about your presence. When you don't rush to explain, you appear grounded. When you pause, you show you're not reactive. When you allow a moment of discomfort to exist without filling it, you communicate strength without saying a word. Your calm becomes your credibility. Here is how to practice it. First, install the pause. Anytime you feel the impulse to defend, explain, or rush, take one full breath before speaking. One breath is enough to break the emotional reflex. It creates a gap where wisdom can enter. Second, answer only what was asked, not what you fear they meant, not what your insecurity imagines, only what was asked. This single discipline eliminates 80% of weak communication. Third, replace justification with a simple statement. Instead of long stories, use clean lines. This is what I can do. This is what I decided. I understand. Noted. I'll handle it. Short, direct, final. Confidence speaks in sentences, not paragraphs. Fourth, let silence do some of the work. If someone pushes you for emotional proof, don't chase their approval. Hold the line. A calm pause after your statement is not awkward, it is authority. This habit is uncomfortable at first because it exposes the addiction to validation. You will feel the itch to repair the room, to soften the tension, to earn acceptance. That itch is exactly what you are training out of your system, because once you can stay silent without shrinking, you stop being controlled by other people's moods. Habit 5. The daily fear reps. One clean confrontation. If you want confidence that is real, you must stop treating fear like an emergency and start treating it like a workout. Most people believe confidence is the absence of fear. Stoicism teaches a harsher, more useful truth. Fear will visit anyway. The difference is what you do when it arrives. The unconfident person avoids. The Stoic trains. So habit 5 is simple and ruthless. Every day, do one small thing you are slightly afraid to do, on purpose, not reckless, not dramatic, clean, controlled, specific. Because confidence is not built by comfort. Confidence is built by repeated proof that fear cannot stop you. Choose one fear rep daily. Make it small enough to complete, but real enough to sting. Send the message you keep delaying. Make the call you keep rehearsing. Ask for the clarity you need. Set the boundary you've been avoiding. Walk into the room you normally avoid. Post the work instead of hiding it. Speak one honest sentence instead of performing agreement. Start the task instead of waiting for the perfect mood, and then do it without building a story around it. Here is why this works at the deepest level. Your mind is always learning a pattern. When fear shows up, what happens next? If the pattern is avoidance, your brain labels fear as danger and you as powerless. If the pattern is action, your brain labels fear as a signal, not a stop sign. Over time, fear loses its authority and you become someone who moves first and feels later. That is why you become unrecognizable. Your old version negotiated with fear. Your new version uses fear as fuel. To make this stoic, follow this structure. Name the fear rep in one sentence. Today I will do X. Keep it concrete. Do it early. Don't carry it all day like a weight. Morning action builds a calm identity for the rest of the day. After you do it, do not celebrate loudly. Just register the win internally. I acted while afraid. That quiet acknowledgement is the brick that builds inner authority. Now comment the words, I act anyway. That is your vow. You don't need to become louder. You don't need to become flashier. You don't need to become someone else. You need to become solid. What you've just learned are not ideas. They are commands, habits that turn confidence from a performance into a foundation. Voluntary discomfort trains your nervous system to stop begging for ease. Negative visualization removes the shock from adversity. The inner scorecard gives you a code no crowd can rewrite. Strategic silence restores your authority in public. Daily fear reps teach your mind that hesitation no longer runs your life. This is how you become unrecognizable, not because people suddenly praise you more, but because their reactions stop controlling you. You walk with weight. You speak without rushing. You act without waiting for permission. You are no longer trying to be seen. You are rooted. Stoicism was never about comfort. It was about command. Command over your impulses, command over your reactions, command over the stories you tell yourself when things don't go your way. And here is the final truth you must carry forward. Confidence is not something you find. It is something you practice until it becomes obvious. So take these habits and live them quietly. Let the results speak later. Let your calm replace your need to explain. Let your discipline replace your need to impress. Let your consistency replace your need for motivation. And if this message resonated, like this video so it reaches others who are fighting in silence. Subscribe if you are committed to building strength that does not depend on approval. Before you leave, comment these words as a final declaration. I am unshakable, not as a quote, as a direction. Walk your path, hold your frame, the rest will adjust.